that we have fundamental rights. We talk about the right to free speech, the right to privacy, and in Pennsylvania, the right to a thorough and efficient education. Those things are protected by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. So we have two candidates for the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. And the first one that we'll hear from is Superior Court Judge Debbie Kunzel.
Hello, Penn Ag Devs. I am thrilled to be here to kick off the 2023 election year and to run as a candidate for your Supreme Court. The Democrats have a 4-2 majority on that court, and there's one seat open which I hope to fill. To do that, we need to elect the most qualified candidate. We need to get the candidate with the most judicial experience. I have served now as a judge for 17 years, 12 years on the trial court in Beaver County, where in 2005, I was elected as the first woman to ever hold that position. And for the past 5 years, I've had the pleasure and the privilege to serve on the Pennsylvania Superior Court, where I've decided nearly 3,000 appeals. We need to elect the candidate with the most diverse legal experience. In my 30 years as a practicing attorney and a judge, I have gained expertise in civil, criminal, family, and juvenile law. I have the most diverse legal experience. We need to elect a candidate who has the courage to make tough decisions. Our Supreme Court only hears the most significant and important cases in our Commonwealth. And my track record for nearly 2 decades shows that I have the courage to make those decisions. And so I believe I am the most qualified candidate for this office. But more than that, I have the passion and the energy to lead our ticket in 2023. I love being a judge. It's the only position I've ever run for, and I've won every race I ran. I have the energy to lead our Democratic team at the top of the ticket in all of these important state, county, and local races. We need to be united so that we can bring the message to our people and make Pennsylvania a better place to live. And so with that, I ask you, when you select your candidate for this highest court, the top ticket, the #1 name on your slate for 2023, remember this: Judge Debbie, she's ready.
We'll now hear from another candidate for the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, Superior Court Judge Dan McCaffrey.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I'm going to take a little bit of a different tack before I get started.
I do it.
Thanks, Marty. Jim Harris, significant other. I was going to say before I get started, that before I really start with my remarks, I'm not really going to talk about my remarks or my qualifications. You're going to see very little difference between my good friend and my colleague, Dan Henson. We have 2 excellent candidates.
You need to speak up.
Yeah. Anything you're going to see come out of it.
Can't hear you.
Before I get started, I want to basically tell you a couple of things about why I'm standing here and why I'm a Democrat, because it's something I hear about all the time. Everybody hear me?
Not really.
Hello, everybody. There you go. I feel like Elvis. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to start off by telling everybody why I'm a Democrat and why I'm standing before you right now. My mom and dad are immigrants. For those of you who don't know anything about my family background, my family hails from Belfast, Northern Ireland. I'm the youngest of 7 Irish Catholic immigrants. My mother and father came to this country to escape sectarian religious violence. My parents married at the age of 16 years of age. By the time they were 19 years of age, they had 3 children. My father was an All-Ireland boxing champion, and he fought his way to the All-Ireland championship. He was given an opportunity that most Irish Catholics were never given, which was the opportunity to work. He was given a job as a printer by a Protestant fellow who used to come and watch my father fight every single weekend at the Royal Ulster Hall, and loved the way my dad fought. When my dad was about 21 years of age, he returned to his work, and his co-workers there, who were all Protestant sectarians, held him down, and beat him into a coma with a wooden mallet. My father woke 30 days later. He was fired from his job, and my father's boxing career was over. He looked at his family, his wife and children, and he realized there was no place for his children and what he wanted for his children in Northern Ireland. So he did what every other American did. He got on a boat, came to this country to make a better life for himself and for his children. My father, when he arrived, joined a union, printers union. And my mother came about 9 months later, and she got a job as a cleaning lady in the Philadelphia School District. My mother and father, ladies and gentlemen, at the time they were 62 years of age, raised 7 children, all of them graduated from college, and they were able to retire with dignity and respect for one reason, which was their adopted family in America, which was the labor union. My mother was a proud member of SEIU, my father was communication workers. They raised 7 children, so when I turned 18, my father handed me a voter registration form, and he said, "Here, fill this out." And I said, "Why should I be a Democrat?" And he said, "Because if you don't, you're going to be living on the street." Just kidding about that. Ladies and gentlemen, I asked my dad that question, and he said, "Because Democrats fight for the law." When I went in the Army, when I finished the Army, when I finished up and went to law school, I spent 10 years Democratic State Committee. I was lead counsel for the Democratic State Committee. I've been a judge now for the better part of 10 years. When people ask me why I'm a Democrat, why the decisions I make are the decisions I make, I tell them the same thing. Because Democrats understand that equal protection means equal protection and everybody is treated equally. We need Supreme Court justices that can unify labor, can unify our funding basis, and people who will stand up to the right and make the hard decisions. Just like we made in 2014 when we elected 3 Democrats to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court who stood up to the unconstitutional gerrymandering. I've been a Democrat my entire life, and I've fought for the Democratic Party. I'm asking for your support. Thank you very much.
All right. We have more than one appellate court. Pennsylvania, the first line of appellate appeals are heard by 2 different courts, and it is for non-lawyers, sometimes just a bit confusing. So, because you never heard the say preaching to the choir, the reason that is that a lot more people listen to the choir than the preacher. If you ever been to church. So you all are